Okay, we have covered the basic layout, 8.5 by 11, 1-inch margins, 12-point Times New Roman font, double space, left justified. We have removed we've stripped the bad formatting, and now we're going to put in good formatting to our manuscript. So now we're looking at this thing, it's double spaced, yay! But there's no indentations and there's nothing centered for chapter headings or for scene breaks or anything like that. So we need to fix that stuff to really make this something that we can send to our editor, because we've got to get rid of all the bad formatting so that they're not having to get distracted by that and deal with it. It slows down their editing process. And I cannot stress this enough, because we want our editors to be able to focus on helping us with the writing portion, not the formatting portion. So formatting is up to us, the authors, and it's best for us to learn this ahead of time and do it right the first time so that we don't have to go back and fix this stuff. But if we have to go back and fix it, it's better for us to do it than for our editor to do it. Again, the editor has to go in and they have to fix that stuff, and that takes away from their time. That means you're getting basically charged for them having to do work that you could have done yourself. And that's not fair to anybody. So save yourself time, save yourself money, save your editor headache of fixing that stuff by you doing it ahead of time. Either do it right the first time or go back and fix it yourself, which is what I've been showing you. So we've stripped all that bad formatting. Now we're going to put in good formatting by adding in indentations at the beginning of our paragraphs and by centering our chapter headings and our scene breaks. Okay? I think what we'll go ahead and start with is indenting our regular paragraphs. Now the first paragraph in a chapter is not indented, so you would start at the second paragraph and you would work your way down to the end. And you either want to do this chapter by chapter, or you can highlight all your text and do it all at once and then just fix the headings chapter by chapter and the scene breaks chapter by chapter. I personally think that the best way to fix all this is to use styles and then do it chapter by chapter, because it's way easier. But if you're not comfortable doing that, the first thing I'm going to show you is just how to do it just manually. Okay? Again, I don't think this is the best way to do it, but it is one way to do it to at least get it in better shape than how it is right now. So we definitely need all of our paragraphs after the first paragraph in a chapter to be indented. They need to be indented to 1/2 inch. The easiest and most consistent way to do this is actually to come up here to your ruler, click on this little arrow on the top, not the bottom, and slide it over to the 1/2 inch mark. And as you can see, it moved everything over in the highlighted text for each new paragraph to 1/2 inch. And to make sure that this is where your paragraphs are at, you can turn on the show hide feature with Velcro here. See? This shows you the ends of your paragraphs. And then this is the beginnings. Wherever you see these, we want to take those out. I don't know, sometimes they just happen. I think it's just a glitch somewhere. So if you want to remove those and put in regular spaces, you'd go Control F. This is the easiest way to find them all. So your navigation feature, Control F, replace. In here, we're going to delete this stuff out of here. I'm going to make sure there's nothing in there. So in the find, we've opened up more. We're going to come down here to special. Okay, and then this is, my mind just went totally blank. It's a non-breaking space. Okay, so the up arrow and the S, and we just want to replace it with a regular space. So you can just push the space bar, literally that easy. So you're going to replace all. It found 3 of them in my text, 5 of them total, and it has now replaced them. See, I highlighted that one that was the open circle, now with just a regular space. A non-breaking space will keep it so that the program won't let whatever comes after or before separate to different lines. So the only time those are really helpful is when you're doing an ellipsis. So a period space would be a non-breaking space, period, non-breaking space, period. Okay, so you want those to stay together. You don't want your ellipsis to get broken up between 2 lines in final formatting. For you right now though, that's not a big deal. That one can actually wait until final formatting. unless you want to go ahead and set it up right now, and then you are welcome to do that. Otherwise, we've cleaned all that out of there. Okay, now we have our indentations. Look, there's no dots for spaces, there's no arrows for tabs, it's just a nice clean indentation all the way down by using the ruler feature. But these, your breaks here, your scene breaks, you can either use the 3 asterisks or the pound symbol. The pound symbol is what is recommended, excuse me, so I'm going to delete the other part. It should not be indented. It should be centered. So you're going to move those back over. So anytime you have a scene break, that should be moved back over to a 0 indentation, and then it should be centered. Every time you have a paragraph afterward, it does not have to be indented after the scene break. That one can also be left aligned, or it can be indented. Either one after the scene break is fine. But your first paragraph of every chapter should not be indented. Chapter headings should also be indented. Don't bother changing the font to something fancy. The only thing I would do to differentiate it would be maybe to make it size 14 and bold, just so that it stands out. Also, your chapter heading should be spaced down a few lines. So you can go ahead, in this case, to bring it down, hit enter 3 or 4 times. Okay? So now you've got chapter 1 down there. If I turn this off, okay, you can see there's a space at the beginning of each chapter, and that's what you want to create. No indentation on the first paragraph, and then all the other ones after should be indented. Scene breaks should have no indentation, and then they should be centered. Everything is still left justified. That's great. All those are indented properly. Looking good. We're going to come down here, and I went, uh-oh, chapter 2 is not on a new page. So we come up here to layout, breaks, next page. It should be on the next page. And again, you're going to do the same exact thing to this, where this chapter title head needs to be highlighted. It's going to be bold. We're going to make it size 14. We're going to center just this line with no indentation. Yeah, that's important. We're going to enter down. I think I did 4 times before. We'll turn the hide show feature back on. Yep, that's the same. This is the beginning paragraph. Should not be indented. This right here is a scene break. It should be centered. This does not have to be centered, or excuse me, left without an indent after. So be consistent throughout your whole manuscript. If you do indent it after a scene break, make sure you always indent it after a scene break. If you don't indent it after a scene break and you leave it like the beginning of the chapter, then make sure you're consistent throughout. In my case, I did indent it, so I'm going to move that over. And oh my goodness, I missed a hard return. Oh dear, so now I need to go in and fix that. It's pretty easy to do. Just delete it, make sure there's a space between the words, and that paragraph is finished. Then the end is what you would write at the end of your manuscript, or you would do the pound symbol. Either one is fine. I like the end, so I'm going to delete the pound symbol. And then this needs to be centered as well. All right, now I'm going to turn off the Pilcrow so we can turn off the hide show feature. Sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue here. And we're going to look at the whole thing. Now you have everything the way you want it. If you need to go in and make any of your words italic, you can highlight it, click italic. They definitely do not recommend underlining words anymore in your manuscript. So I think that that's still used in writing screenplays, just like Courier New would be used in writing screenplays, but not in writing a manuscript for fiction books. Okay? You would use italics for any words that you need italicized. Okay, and I think that that covers everything on the most basic way to make sure that your formatting is done completely. There's another way to go ahead and do this, and that's using styles in order to do all of your indentations, your centering, your chapter heads, and all these spaces and things. And I would like to show you how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and start that in another video so that we can keep this fairly simple. If you like doing it this way, this is fine. This is just not the way that I recommend. It works okay though. I'm going to show you in the other video how to use styles to create the same look in a way that you can use over and over and over again that actually becomes a lot quicker. All right, thank you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or email me from my website.